Welcome, listeners and watchers and viewers, to the Man Cave Media Network and the Down East Prep Report with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with Chris, we're joined this week by special guest Kannon McBride. Kannon, thank you for joining us, man.
Sir, thanks for having me.
And he's a junior quarterback at Croatan High School, and his head coach, Andrew Gurley. Fellas, thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Don't be afraid to get up on the mic and talk when I start asking questions. I promise I've cleaned it, and it's good and clean. So we're going to start off this week by recapping the slate of last week's football games, and there was some pretty good action last week.
There was.
A lot of not much defense in some games. You had a hard time picking the player of the week. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah, that was a little hard one. That was a little hard one. Amari Pearson scored 6 touchdowns and rushes for over 300 yards, and that was pretty impressive, especially doing it against New Bern, so on the road. So that was an impressive effort by that young man.
Yeah. So we'll recap that a little bit, and then we'll talk to Kannon about his football journey at Croatan High School football, and then we'll roll into Chris's breakdowns of the week's matchups and your official predictions. So Friday Night Lights are coming. It's local football, and it's right here now on the Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union. At Marine Federal Credit Union, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community with personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals. Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So we're going to start things off by recapping last week's action, and we're going to start off with Player of the Week. So Player of the Week, you mentioned him just a minute ago, Amari Pearson. Here, I'll turn this around so you can see it. How about that?
Yeah, thank you.
Amari Pearson, junior running back, Jacksonville High School. Jacksonville, that is not a misprint, 67. Wow.
Yeah.
New Bern, 34. Amari had 16 carries, 331 yards rushing, and 6 rushing TDs. So we talked a little bit about that. I saw the picture that you had with the 6 footballs. It reminded me of Tom Brady and the 6 rings. So talk a little bit about your interview with Amari, if you don't mind.
Yeah, a good young man. I mean, credited his offensive line for the effort, and was very excited. And I mean, if you're familiar with the way Jacksonville was, excuse me. Has been the last couple of years. We all know how Damon June, I mean, he's doing some great things at Carolina right now, but those guys are getting those opportunities now. Amari Pearson, Amari Benton, and even Anthony Washington for the Cardinals. So I'm surprised how good Jacksonville is, but that was in New Bern, I don't think is, they've given up some points the last few weeks, but that's still a pretty good statement by the Cardinals on Friday.
Coach, what'd you think? Okay, so full disclosure, no bulletin board material. We don't try to get that.
I don't play them this year.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think you play them this year. Bird doesn't care. He'll say whatever.
Yeah.
Bo Williams a little more tight lipped. So have you ever seen a score where you've seen the New Bern team give up 6 to 7 points?
Not that I remember. Not recently at least.
Yeah.
And that's impressive what Jacksonville did. And I noticed that when you put the numbers up, 16 carries over 300 yards. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So
Chris gives me those numbers. I wish he'd give me. I'm not very good at math. If you give me that yards per carry, that would be good. But anyway, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. Do you know? I know a lot of football players. No football players. Do you know Amari?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, awesome kid. Glad to know that he's a junior. Is that right?
He's a
junior.
And the cool thing is, we had the young man last week, Blake, on the show with Bo, and when I was doing the interview, and of course it takes a couple of us to grab 6 footballs and head over to the field. Guess who the young man was that was helping us carry the ball?
Blake was helping him.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat that you have teammates that are supporting each other like that.
That's awesome. So I would be remiss if I did not tell you, again, Player of the Week, obviously, is brought to you by Down East Heating and Air, our friends Jason Humphrey and the fine folks at Down East Heating. They've been on the part of the show since week 1. This is actually week 8, right?
Yeah. Can you believe it? Week 8.
Week 8. Football season's gone by, hasn't it?
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's gone by fast.
It's gone by really fast. So yeah, Down East has been a part of this since day one, and Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986. With locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach, Down East is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, even a basement here. Down East has the perfect system to help you stay comfortable during the football season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you. So, again, we thank Jason and the fine folks at Down East Heating, and we're going to pop over and let's look at the rest of the scores from last week. So there's the Jacksonville 67, New Bern 34. Boys, y'all can close your eyes for just 1 second if you want to. Yeah. Northside, and as I go over these, I'll just give a little update. Pearson ran wild for 331 yards, 6 touchdowns as Jacksonville's explosive offense overwhelmed New Bern for its third straight win in the rivalry. So they beat them three times in a row.
And 2 times in New Bern.
2 times, yes, right. So didn't they play them last year in New Bern?
They played them last year in New Bern.
So why did they play? Just the way the schedule worked?
The realignment,
Yeah.
I mean, Coach, you know this as well as ever. The realignment can kind of
Still trying to balance the home and away. So we've had a couple games like that with us too this year.
Okay. Northside 30, 28 Croatan. The Anderson kid ran for 184 yards and some clutch defense helped Northside survive a late Croatan rally. You were trying to bring him back.
Yeah, I think I wanted the ball one more time at the end, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. East Duplin 53-12 Southwest. East Duplin got out to a 29-0 lead in the first quarter. Damn, that was more than daggone Clemson hung on Carolina first quarter last week. I was there Saturday. I was there. Trust me, until halftime, and then we left.
And what'd you do after halftime?
We left and we went to. Well, I got an electric vehicle. That Cadillac is electric, so we stopped back in Raleigh, in Cary at a sports bar, and watched the second and I charged it and we ate and watched the second half. I actually watched State and Campbell, watched some other games anyway. I was part of that mass exodus where you saw a lot of empty people in the or no people in the stands. Brandon Norris and Sean Davis dominated for East Duplin in a complete team win. Dixon 46, Swansboro 30. J.J. Galot carried the Bulldogs with 343 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns as Dixon powered 343 yards. Wow. And remember, I put in there last week, I said, will anybody rush for over 250 yards and will anybody throw for over 225? And I think you said no, didn't you?
Yeah, I said no.
You got blown out of the water. So we had Amari and we had
it shows you how much I really know. I mean, everybody should stop listening to what I have to say.
Dixon powered past Swansboro for its 5th win. You guys haven't played Dixon yet, have you?
We've played Swansboro, not Dixon. Dixon's last game.
Last game of the season.
There, yep.
That's going to be for playoff season.
It's at Dixon. Yep.
At Dixon.
Halloween.
Good deal. Hey, get a little bit closer because your mama's going to be listening. And I don't want her writing up here, tell Kannon to talk deeper into the mic. So I know listen, okay, I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna you getting ready to kiss a little girl.
Okay.
Just do that. Okay. D.H. Conley 49, the Oak 44. White Oak's furious fourth quarter comeback fell just short despite Josh Smith's again 516 total yards.
Wow.
And 7 total touchdowns. I appreciate Amari Josh was player of the week a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's just amazing. I mean, obviously, Coach, you play tight. Am I right? You play tight end at Methodist.
I did. Yep. Tight end.
Okay. So you're an offensive guy.
I am, but this year I'm calling the defense for the first time. So
not a lot of defense called in a lot of these games.
Not at all.
I mean, when y'all's game 30-28 was the lowest scoring game.
Yeah.
Wow. Liberty Christian 35-22 over Community Christian. Holden Smith's all-around play, 2 touchdown catches and 2 forced fumbles led Liberty Christian to its 4th straight win, and they got even. So I guess the way their conference is, they play each team twice. Is that correct?
They pretty much play each other twice, and then the top 2 teams in that conference
and
each other for
and Community Christian beat them early on during the season, I think. And
no, Liberty beat I think Liberty beat.
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, so.
They got revenge. Well, it says in a bit of revenge.
Okay, now yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So yeah,
it's so hard to keep.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. But and is just a preview next week. I think Holden going to be on the show, or his brother, or
Both of them.
okay. So there's two brothers that play for Liberty Christian, and they're going to be on the show next week. Along with Coach Richmond, so so we're excited about that. So, all right. So anyway, so that's last week's roundup, and we're going to go to rapid fire. So, Coach, I asked some questions. Yes, no, maybe, whatever. You guys are more than welcome. They're directed towards Chris, but you guys are obviously. I want you guys to participate because there'll be some good answers associated with this, and they're based around the the games that we just talked about. So first question: is Amari Pearson the most explosive back in Eastern North Carolina right now?
And this is not a slight toward him, but it's not just him, because we have a slew of guys. I mean. Andrew Boucher for Croatan. I mean, the other Amari for Jacksonville. Montez for White Oak. So I mean, the talent level this year in Eastern North Carolina has skyrocketed with quarterbacks and running backs. And the very interesting thing is a lot of these guys are juniors.
Yeah.
So I think the future for a lot of these quarterbacks and running backs and receivers are the future is very bright. I think next year will be a very, very strong year with all these guys being seniors.
Okay.
Well, and you got to mention JJ from Dixon. And I don't know if you consider him I guess in that offense he's a running back still, but I think of other years in the past where it's been a lot easier answer than this year. I mean, it's just hard to say this year, but he's definitely one of them for sure.
Cannon?
I'm gonna say Andrew Boucher all day. I mean,
hey man, I like how you roll with your boy, man.
That's my best friend. So
I would expect nothing different out of you.
Great answer.
Great answer.
And he is a tough.
He is.
He is a tough. You know what? So I was really impressed the way he played Friday night against a solid team, and I swear he plays a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's not a huge guy, but he plays a lot of heart, doesn't he?
Well, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people that probably do have an opinion about the best running back, they probably never met Andrew in person, and to see him, I mean, and what he can do with how big he is, and trust me, getting to work with him each and every day, I mean, it's a blessing, and he's a special player.
And when we get to the as we go through the show right near the end, or maybe I can't remember when it is, but we'll bring it up. We've got the area stats. My recollection, he's the only person top 10 in rushing and receiving. So all around kid. So all right, how much credit should be given to Jacksonville's offensive line for this game?
Oh, I think a lot of credit. I think a lot of those guys were filling in roles when they weren't the starters last year, and a lot of those guys had to step into leadership and starting roles. And they do have some experience with the Anderson Tant and Tanner Jones and some of those guys, but they really I had a little bit of a question mark with those guys going into the season. So they've really stepped up and performed well, and they're a senior bunch. A lot of them are seniors, so they really mean a lot to that team. And I think if you talk to Amari from Jacksonville and the other guys, they'll quickly recognize that hey, we scored 67 points and had 600 yards of rushing yards because of our line.
Excellent. I hate to go into these two, but I'm gonna have to. How important was Sam Summers' field goal in swinging the momentum?
Well, I think you and I talked about this after the game. I think the biggest turning point kind of was when they blocked one of your field goals toward the end. You all had a chance to have maybe extend that momentum, and they blocked it toward the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
I think that kind of gave them a little bit of a lift, and then I think
so. The block field goal was, in your opinion,
in my opinion. And of course, there were other plays I think that led to that, but I think that might have given them a little bit of confidence going into halftime, because I think they scored early in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
They did, and they blocked the PAT. I think that was first. I believe was the block PAT and then the field goal. Yeah, I mean, anytime that happens in a game, especially in a close game like that, it's going to be a momentum shift, and it definitely was. And you know, I was proud of our guys, the way we kind of withstood some adversity we saw, and you know, gave us a chance in the fourth quarter there. Had a big comeback, but just fell a little bit short.
So who's your kicker? How come he's getting all these kicks?
Well, I'm hoping that we figured out the reason that they got through, and they did a good job of kind of being prepared for that. Special teams a lot of times is the phase of the game that doesn't get a lot of attention during the week, and you can tell Northside's worked on that part of it. So.
And they said they did work on that leading up to the game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And you know, just my 2 cents about it. When you have a tight game, a lot of times special teams makes a difference. And haven't been to any of the games this year, but Northside put some effort into special teams because they've run a couple touchdowns back off kickoffs. They've now granted they were their safeties, so that's, you know, defense, but they've had a couple safeties on defense. I mean, they seem to, not that other teams don't, you don't, but there's some kind of fruits of their labor that kind of show. It seems to be.
And I think this year I've seen more field goals this year. I mean, Cannon's one of the best kickers, the best players we have in the era overall. But he was the best kicker we had last year. But Isaiah from Richlands is kicking field goals. I mean, Jacksonville has a solid kicking game. I think this year I've seen more field goals this year than any other year, and I've been doing this for 20 years. So, is that just kind of a coincidence, you think, or I think you coaches are kind of finding those soccer players?
Well, I think a lot of times, yes to that, but I think a lot of times, you know, especially in high school sports, a lot of things are cyclical, and you can't go out and recruit kids, at least you're not supposed to, but, you know, it's a lot of, you're playing to your strengths. And I remember years past, you know, where we didn't really have a solid kicker, so we were having to go for two, we were having to kind of rely on other things, and so having like somebody like Kannon on the team, and we've had other kids before, Aiden Kimbrell, you know, kids like that, Zach Tracy back in the day, having a kicker, I mean, it's a weapon, truly is, and so I think going into seasons, I think coaches are looking for that. I mean, you're looking for that kid on the soccer team. You know, you're looking for somebody that can do it, and because it's definitely something that gives you an advantage.
Coach, everybody's looking for it except Jonathan Bird.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bird is going to go for two every time he gets a chance to go for two.
I was that guy before.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of playing the analytics side of it, because you think about it, even if you're 50% successful on your PATs, you're still going to score more points. You know, going for two than getting the one there. But you know, I don't know. I could see both sides of the argument.
I like giving him grief.
Yeah.
Next question. Croatan's balanced offense. I mean, we've talked about it. Makes them a real playoff threat, right?
Well, I think so. I think early on, Coach, I'm looking at the stats and everything. You know, Kannon and the guys have done a great job in the passing game. Yeah. But Andrew, again, showed me a lot last Friday night against Northside, and the more balance, the more balance. I mean, we all know how great of a running game y'all have had in previous years, and early on, the passing game was really working. But as the weather gets colder, and that the ball is going to be a little bit harder, the running game is going to stand out if you guys are going to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Especially too at the end of games when you need to close out a team. You know, when you do have a lead, maybe not a big lead, but you want to rely on the running game, to keep the clock running and stuff like that. And, since we've gone back to the spread offense here these last couple of years, that was kind of what we had in mind, is we do want to be balanced because we've been so run heavy the last few years. When you go to an offense like this, you don't want to be one-dimensional. And so, guys like Kannon and guys like Andrew and Riley Robinson and, J.P. Piccoli, guys that have just really bought into what we're doing, they've made this be able to happen and be balanced. And I want to mention our defense too. Our defense does such a great job of getting our offense the ball back. We gave up 30 points this past Friday night in Northside.
I was going to say, y'all.
That's the most points we've given up in the first 6 games combined. We've given up 28 points in the first 6 games combined. Yeah. So, I don't like seeing that 30 up there, but.
Well, you got to realize, Coach, I don't know if my stat man here probably had it, But I would probably say that going into that game, Northside was averaging more than 30 points a game.
Sure.
So not that makes a difference. I mean, but you guys, I mean, you know.
Well, not taking away anything from Northside.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a great team, and I tell you what, they were more physical than what I gave them credit for.
You're the second person to said that.
I tell you what, I was obviously the quarterback, number 2. I think his last name's Davis, I believe. I mean, you look at them, that's the first thing that jumps out at you. And to be honest, on film, what we had seen, they really didn't go to the power running game until the second half of the games that we'd seen. And they went to it pretty early against us and, threw us for a loop. And,
And we talked about that. And we talked about that early on. In order for Northside to make a deep run, the first two or three games they were pass heavy, and they had to establish a run, and I think probably maybe by the third game of the season, I forget who it was, they played somebody down in Wilmington,
Topsail or New Hanover,
and I think that game that was when they started rushing the ball. So anyway, East Duplin quietly rounding into championship form, at least for their conference, and proceed on?
At least for their conference. I know they had struggled early on in their passing game, which their offense kind of struggled for a few weeks. But now that they're in conference play, Battle does such a great job. They get better and better throughout the year, and so I think they're going to run the table in the conference.
Yeah.
Southwest is still trying to figure out its way, but. Strong effort by the Panthers nonetheless. So I think they're going to run the table in the conference, get a decent seed because of their strength of schedule, and then be a dangerous team in the playoffs. So they're going to just get stronger and stronger.
Great lead in. Can Southwest find answers before its matchup this week with Pender on Friday night?
Well, it's gonna be tough. Pender, believe it or not, is undefeated.
Yeah, that's amazing. When I was, of course, it was back in the 80s. We had just gotten electricity, right? But when I played, Pender was in our, we actually dropped from 3A to 2A. I've said it several times my senior year. Pender was in our conference, and they just were not very good. I mean, and I know ebb and flows up and down, and at one point dropped to 1A. So are they still in the 1A, or are they whatever the class? Okay.
So but yeah, they're undefeated, and excuse me, and Southwest just hasn't really put that pieces together. I think once they find success, beating a South and or something like that, I think they'll get some confidence. But they really need some good luck kind of coming quickly. So we'll see how they do Friday.
All right. Did J.J. Galat enter? Hell, I think he was already in it. Enter the area player of the year conversation.
Well, I think he was already in it. But again, we talked about that earlier. Boucher has a chance to make it. Galat is one of the top 3 guys. We have different guys. Josh Smith.
It's really amazing. You're looking, because we talked about it last week when Bo was here, and we were talking about the quarterbacks, and we were talking about the running backs. In legit, man, you got the Northside kid. You got my man here. You got Josh Smith. I think he made the comment last week. He said that's the great thing about having a athlete position is that you've got to put. And then at your running backs, you've got the kids from Jacksonville. You've got Andrew. You've got the kids from East Duplin. They've kind of they're still moving along. They'll probably garner some more yards, more than they have the last couple of weeks once they get to conference. And then, of course, you got the kid from White Oak. You got the kid, and then you got, do you put JJ as a quarterback or do you put him as a running back? Yeah. What do you do? I'm glad that is not my job. I think I might be helping you, but I'm glad that.
But that's why you make the decisions kind of. See what people do. NFL just does theirs like regular season.
Yeah.
But you see if somebody makes a run in the playoffs. And if a team happens to win a state championship, well, you can't. And the kid's MVP of the state final, then that kind of answers the question right there. So we'll see how it goes. But we could probably name 7 or 8 guys that could be like
the player of the year. Yeah. White Oak, Josh Smith. Was this the best losing performance of the season by a quarterback?
I
500 some odd yards, I would say.
mean,
so.
he threw for 300 yards and ran for another 200 or something. So, Waduk is a dangerous team. They just have a tendency of falling behind early. We saw that against Kinston. We saw that last week. And if they can establish that lead, in some of these tougher games, maybe they don't have to work as hard, in the fourth quarter trying to come back. But it would have been an awesome comeback, even more impressive than they did against Kinston, but just fell a little short against Conley last week.
All right. Make a prediction on what the rest of conference play looks like for White Oak. I mean, they're getting into the heat of it now, right?
Yeah, I would say, you lost to D.H. Conley. The rest of the teams are going to be pretty difficult. I would say they would have success against South Central.
Yeah. Now, D.H. Conley was picked, and they're all predictions or whatever, but they were one spot above them. Okay.
But the rest of it, New Bern, J.H. Rose, Jacksonville is going to be difficult.
How was the and again, they're just predictions, preseason predictions. Where was it? Rose and then Jacksonville, New Bern,
and Jacksonville tied for second.
Okay. All right. How big was this redemption win for? Let's see, it was a redemption win for Liberty after the August loss.
I talked to Sean yesterday. They think they can run the table and finish in that number 2 spot in that conference and be playing that conference/state championship game. So they do things a little bit different in that conference, but they have a chance to win out and maybe play for a title this year.
All right. Well, this week's recap is brought to you by SIA Group. For more than 50 years, SIA Group has provided protection beyond insurance, helping families, businesses, and communities preserve what matters most. They believe insurance isn't just about policies, it's about people. That's why SIA Group is committed to supporting local businesses and giving back to the communities they serve. Learn more at siagroup.com/prep report. And I have to say it, they are a sponsor. They give us money. They're trying to see value for their dollar. If you go out to siagroup.com/prep report, they're not going to capture, well, hell, I guess they may capture your email address, but they're going to ask you some stuff like who's your team? What's your high school team? They're just, again, trying to gauge interest as to the effectiveness of who's watching and, the show. And, we'll have 30, 40 people watch it live when we do it, but we'll have close to 1,200 views during the week. So folks are watching it. But if you're watching it at any point in time and you hear this, siagroup.com/prep report, go out there and say Croatan is your favorite team. How about that?
There you go.
All right. Before we get to the interview with Kannon, let's move to the stats. So you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it because I can barely see it, but offensive area leaders, and probably should do a different color next time, but I did it. I did it actually because that's Marine Federal colors. So anyway, and they are the major sponsor. So anyway, passing, we've got Reginald Gray heading this up with just broke 1,000 yards. It's 13 TDs. Kannon, man, you're sitting in second, over 1,000 yards, but I like the 19 TDs. How about that?
Yes, sir.
That's money.
Appreciate it.
That's money. We've got Eddie, pronounce his last name. DePaula from Liberty. We've got the kid from Richlands. He made a big jump this past. Well, we're doing this every couple weeks. The Kevin Till from Swansboro, but that's minus 1 week of stats. So Coach Beasley, we'd love for you to give us. I don't know what week you're missing, but
last week's game.
All right, and I think next week we've got the Holden kids. The Smith kids coming from Liberty. 2 weeks from now, we've got Kevin Till from Swansboro, quarterback, and trying to get him on there as well. All right, Josh Smith comes in after that, and then Washington from Jacksonville. Going to the rushing, JJ's rush for 1,700 yards. This week he will probably go over 2,000. I'm making that assumption. I should have put that in as a rapid fire. 20 touchdowns. That's amazing. Josh Smith is at 805 as a quarterback. That's pretty impressive. Amari made a big move with the 331 yards up to 777 yards and 13 touchdowns. There's your there's your buddy Andrew.
Yes,
He's
sir.
hitting it fourth, 740 yards, 14 TDs. And we come on down, White Oak, Dixon, East Duplin. We have the Anderson kid has made some movement over the last few weeks with Northside. Eddie is also up there as well in the rushing as well. Then we get to receiving. I hit the wrong button. Let's see. It didn't. Now I can see. We get to receiving. Davis from Northside, 35 receptions, 6 TDs. The kid from Lejeune has actually caught 23 balls, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
They haven't scored a lot. So
Yeah, they haven't scored a lot, but
he's been getting them in position, right?
and on that note, good for those kids.
I was going to make mention about that, and we'll go ahead and mention it. I guess I got it worked out, but Lejeune will be playing Friday. They had to play early last week because of the furlough that started on October 1, but I guess they've got the deal worked out, and they will be playing on Friday.
So let's just say
against East Carteret.
let's just say a little bird told me that a high-ranking government personnel was unaware that
That they weren't going to be able to play.
they weren't going to be able to play.
Isn't it amazing how you're broke and all of a sudden you just kind of find money for buses and you find stuff like that?
You know,
But that's cool, man. I mean, that's cool. The
He
kids.
said,
I
what
mean,
do you mean? What do you mean not? They're not playing, and I don't want to disclose my source, but this was a high-ranking person close to the president of the United States that
that's awesome.
was
That's
not
awesome.
aware.
That is awesome. Beasley from Swansboro's coming in fourth. There's Riley
Yes, Riley.
Robinson,
Yes, sir.
favorite receiver. I mean, don't you ain't gonna make the other guys right.
He'll go up and catch anything.
Okay.
It's awesome. Yeah.
All right, good answer. Armstrong from Swansboro, and there's pronounce his last name for me. Bacoli. So we can see he slings it around. We don't see White Oak finally has a guy, and Eddie or Edric has appeared. This is his first week in the top. That's amazing that he's caught 12 balls for 300 yards. Again, you need to give me the per catch per rush, man. It's just too much. I'll figure it out. So I appreciate you doing this. We're doing it every other week, so I appreciate you doing that. So
And Ken, do you players kind of look at and say, "Hey, I'm ranked number 2 in the conference," or do you players kind of compare your stats with other guys?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, you do, man.
Yeah.
When I said 19 touchdowns, that fist bump you gave me, it was pretty solid, man. So yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But that's all right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, we're going to transition now to Cannon's interview. So joining us today again is Croatan standout junior quarterback Kannon McBride, along with head coach Andrew Gurley. And we're going to talk a little about Cannon's journey playing football and about what's ahead. Then we'll finish the segment by getting some of Coach Gurley's thoughts. So we're going to go interview with Kannon. We're going to have a rapid fire section for Kannon, and then we'll get some questions for you, Coach. So Kannon, you've been a standout in soccer, basketball, and as a kicker. What was the moment, or was there some sort of internal shift when you decided to commit to football as quarterback full time?
I think as the midway point through last season, I really started seeing myself in practice. The love for football was always there. I always knew that I wanted to play full time eventually. But I think midway through last season, I was starting to get more reps in practice, and guys were starting to see me as a quarterback and not just a kicker. So that's when I started to realize. And by the end of the season, I was pretty decided on what I was going to do for this upcoming season and fully commit to football.
So just as a side note, Dave Miller is one of my best friends, who's the retired soccer coach from Jacksonville High School, and Joey Mahalchik, who is now the head soccer coach. And they tell me, man, you were a hell of a damn soccer player. Mm-hmm. So was that a tough decision to make between because not to downplay it, but being a kicker, you can still there's a lot of guys that play soccer and then pop over on Thursdays for your pregame and stuff like that and kick. But was that a tough decision to make, or was it you just knew it was a thing that you wanted to do?
It was tough because my friends on the soccer team and everything, Coach Slater's a great coach. He's been coaching me my whole life.
Yeah.
But I think just honestly, I wanted to play quarterback. You know, I knew I proved what I could do at soccer already, and I thought it was a good, perfect timing moment to just fully commit. And yeah.
Am I getting the story? Did your dad play quarterback?
My dad, he played quarterback at West Carteret, and then he went and walked on at UNC and played as a receiver.
Okay. What do you remember? Do you remember what year he was there?
He was there like 2000, 2001.
Okay.
It was like when he played with Julius Peppers. So,
Okay, quite a bit. Yeah, I was up. I graduated from White Oak in '86 and went up and walked on, preferred walk on in '86, '87. Dick Crumb's last year and Mac Brown's first year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I was up there quite a bit earlier than that. So in your first varsity start, you threw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And went 10 of 11.
Yes, sir.
I bet you thought, hey man, damn, this football thing, what the hell, man? This is seriously. So let's talk about the emotions, kind of before the game and during and after. So
first game?
Yeah, after your first game. Before.
We played East Carteret. They weren't, they're East Carteret, but that was all in the first half. So like at halftime, they're like, yeah, you're done. You're done. So I mean, I guess it was a good first game. Eased my nerves up a little bit, gave me some confidence, and yeah, it's been rolling from then.
That's awesome. So after this strong first start, how do you keep your expectations in check? I mean, you're not always going to throw 5 touchdowns. I mean, the game plan may call because you guys are balanced now. You've got a great running attack. How do you keep your emotions in check? Saying, heck, I may only throw the ball 3 or 4 times. We may run just depending on how the game goes.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, I know I trust the coaches and what plays they call. Andrew's going to run hard. Andrew's going to get a lot of work. I'm happy for him to do that. But yeah, just I have a lot of trust in everybody on the field, and I know they're going to do their jobs. And however we do it, as long as we get the job done.
As long as you get the win, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
I love it. So let's talk about leadership. How would you describe your leadership style on the field and off the field? And now I wanted how you would describe it. I'm gonna come back and ask Coach in a little while, but I want to know how you describe it.
I think I should be speaking out a little bit more than I can or than I have been. I think this season the guys are starting to rally behind me, and it's a lot of fun just be in that role. People, they're going to look at you, they're going to ask you questions, especially as a quarterback, making sure everybody's in the right spots, making sure receivers run the right routes, making sure I'm on the same page with them. I'm saying, we got a whole route here. I need you to move this way so I can see you in my vision because the linebacker's sitting right here. But, even just being in the locker room, I appreciate the guys looking at me as a leader and as a captain on the team. So,
that's awesome. And let me just tell you, they don't look at you just because you're the quarterback, bud. They look at you because you're doing it. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way that you present yourself, and it's your action. So I'll tell you that. Now this one may have been before last week's game. So sorry about this, but I know 0 sacks at one point. Is that still? Did you have some sacks last week?
Yeah, I had probably 2 or 3 last week.
Okay, but that's cool, brother. I mean, heck, man, what y'all are 5-1, 6-1 now, or something like that.
6-1, yep.
Yeah, so I mean, but going into that 0 sacks, and that's a telling stat for you, but it's also totally for your line. So talk to me about that relationship and trust with your offensive line, man.
I love my O-line. I mean, my center, Big Tuna, he unfortunately got hurt this week in the game. That might have hurt us a little bit. But, it's I think it's very positive. Took them out to dinner, got them all tacos before the season. So that was fun. They're a good group of guys to be around. And
that's awesome.
I love hanging out with them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How many tacos did they end up eating?
Oh, my gosh. Our left tackle, Zach Bentz, shout out to him. I think he ate 16.
Oh.
So, yeah. And these are real tacos. They're not like,
I gotta like that.
Yeah.
So off the field, 4.44 GPA.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me a little bit about how you balance academics and athletics.
Yeah.
Because for the record, Croatan is noted not just in North Carolina, but it is noted as one of the premier high schools in southeastern United States from an academic standpoint.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
My parents hold me to a very high standard. I know the expectations they have for me, so it is sometimes tough, being at practice every day and then having to get homework done, and then you have a social life, and balancing that is tough sometimes. But you got the weekends, and now I'm starting to take like online classes, so I have more time to get stuff done. So yeah, that's
tough.
It is tough,
but you got to balance it.
You got to get it done. Yep.
I think it helps you. It'll help you later on in life too, man. My daughter was a pretty good little volleyball player. Played travel volleyball, and she played with a group out of Wilmington. So we were on the road 2 or 3 nights a week, traveling down during the spring, I guess, because they played volleyball in the fall. And there was a million nights that she would be in the back of the car with the light on, doing her homework and stuff like that. So, but I told her, I said, listen, you may not get it now, but it's going to help you later on when you get to college, or it's going to help you later on when you grow up in life and try to figure out like serious things like being a parent and balancing work and stuff like that.
And
so.
Shout out to her because she has her own podcast.
Yeah, so I'm going to mention that coming up near the end. I don't know that we got a lot of. I was joking with her. We have a show. We have a show on Sunday night, 2 Men to Six Pack, where we banter about college football and stuff like that. And I mentioned it Friday night. I mentioned it Sunday night. But she came out. She's an attorney in New York, 30 years old. She has a best friend that's an attorney out in L.A. Who's an entertainment lawyer, and they decided they wanted to start a podcast, and it's an audio podcast, and it actually debuted today. It's called The Date of the Nation. It's about 30 something single girls dating. I mean, she's married, my daughter is, but it's about dating and the things go along with dating. And so while I don't think there'll be a lot of overlap in what we're doing and what they're doing, I do have to give her a little shout out about that. So,
and I had a question for Kannon, because we all know your dad's a longtime coach, Coach McBride. How much of an influence did he make? Being a father, but also being a coach. I mean, he's a role model. He's a role model for you, isn't he?
He'll help me with anything, sports, football. He's a big time football guy. So he influenced me to come play football full time. But he's a great father. Even he's out. He came back to coach football now, so it's great having him out there on the field again. So
So when you messed up,
he's the first one.
Oh, really? It's not mom that you fear more.
He's the first one to come.
That's all right.
Come tap my head and come talk to me. So.
I used to say it all the time. You didn't, and it's hard to do. I'm glad we're on TV. We can't see my feet, but I've had that right there, and then kicking. Be patting me on my head and kicking me in my butt at the same time. So let's talk the rest of the season. Let's talk about goals, individual, personal, team. Talk about what Kannon McBride is looking for himself, for Croatan. Moving forward.
We just want to finish the season strong. I mean, took a tough loss to a good team. We know how good we can be. So obviously we're going to win out. See where we are in playoffs. Anything can happen in playoffs. So we believe we can go deep and contend for a state title. And then individually, just keep doing my thing, and that'll come to me. But the team going far and making a deep run and finishing top of the conference, that's number one.
Awesome. Yeah. Beyond high school plans, do you want to play football? You want to play soccer? You want to play basketball? What are your plans? Or you just want to go to school?
I mean obviously,
which is I say just going to school. That's enough. Yeah. Trust me.
Football, basketball. That's where I'm at right now. If anywhere I can go.
Yeah. I was going to ask you dream school.
UNC. But
man, I love it, bud.
But wherever I can play, that's where I think I'm going to go.
All right, man. That's good. That's good. Last question, then we get into the random or the rapid fire.
Okay.
Favorite memory so far right now
This season?
as a Croatan? It could have been last year or whatever, your freshman year. Favorite memory wearing the black and gold?
It's definitely going to be beating Havelock 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, rapid fire. Here we go.
Okay.
More satisfying in a game, hitting 5 threes, throwing 2 touchdowns, kicking the winning 45-yard field goal, or scoring the winning goal in a soccer game. That's all. That's a tough one, right?
That's tough.
Be honest now. The 5 threes are nasty, right?
I know, but
Wait a minute. Let me stop you.
Okay.
This
I'll
is
go.
rapid fire. So when
Sorry.
I ask you that, you got to come quick back. Go ahead. I'm just messing with you,
5
man.
3-pointers.
All right. How many have you hit in a game before?
Last year, I think I hit 10 one time.
Okay. Well, shit. I'm
man,
sorry. Excuse me. 5.
So yeah,
five,
all right, we'll go with the game-winning 45-yard
All
field
right.
goal.
All right.
We win the game. Let's go.
Favorite post-game meal?
Cookout.
All right. Best hype song before kickoff?
Dreams and Nightmares
Who sings that?
by Meek Millie.
Okay. At least he didn't say Fantasia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna never forget that one.
Was that
Josh Smith said a Fantasia song, and I was like, I don't know who that is, but it must. And everybody started laughing, but me. So, who's the funniest teammate in the locker room?
Andrew Boucher.
All right. Favorite quarterback to watch, active or retired, or who is your favorite athlete?
Cam Newton.
Awesome. Early morning workout or late night study? Which do you prefer?
Early morning workout.
Walk on role in a movie, an action hero or a comedian?
Comedian.
Who's your role model in life?
My dad.
Best advice you ever received from anyone? That's tough. You want to pass?
Yeah, I'll pass.
All right. You get one pass. That's it.
Okay.
Favorite movie besides Remember the Titans?
Step Brothers.
All right. God, that's a good, man. If you weren't playing sports, what would you want to do?
I'd probably go into engineering or marketing.
Okay. Hidden talent outside of football and outside of soccer and basketball. Hidden talent outside of athletics.
Last
week, Blake said he liked to cook.
Yeah, that's right.
I cannot cook.
I said I like to eat, right? But anyway, yeah.
I'll say.
Man, we're really beating them up, aren't we?
I know about that.
Pass.
All right. If you could teleport anywhere for vacation right now, where would you go?
Hawaii.
Nice. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, living or dead, that's always one of the questions I always ask. Who would they be?
Jesus, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods.
All right. One word that sums up being a Croatan Cougar.
Prideful.
Prideful. Awesome. That wasn't too bad.
No.
You only passed on 2.
Yeah.
I should make him go back
They're
and answer
probably
those.
the deeper ones.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
sure. Coach, I'm going to morph over to you now.
Okay.
Before I get into the serious questions, I have two funny questions, or I think they're funny. Better college football player, Andrew Gurley or Jonathan Byrd?
Oh, man. Wow.
Gotta have confidence.
If I know he's watching this, of
he's
course
watching.
I'm going to
He'll
say
watch.
me.
He may not watch now,
mean,
but he will be watching.
He was a lineman, and I played tight end,
Okay.
which halfway was a lineman, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
Better poker player, Andrew Gurley or Jonathan Byrd?
Jonathan Byrd, hands
Hey,
down.
hands down, right?
Hands
Okay,
down.
okay, yeah.
I wouldn't stand a chance.
So, Coach, you've seen Kannon grow from a kicker and multi-sport athlete into your starting quarterback. What stood out to you most about how he approached that transition, both physically or mentally?
Well, the time spent with Kannon wasn't just, these last 3 years. I've known Kannon since he was a baby. I mean, I've known him for a long, long time. And obviously our middle school right down the road, when Kannon was in middle school, their seasons were different. Then football was in the fall, soccer was a little bit later in the fall. And so he didn't have the overlap like he does right now. So we got to watch him all throughout middle school. And I noticed, as a 7th grader, mainly the first thing that stood out was his leadership, that we talked about earlier. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this is, we're not just getting a great athlete, when he comes to Croatan, we're getting a great leader. And, seeing, his first 2 years in high school, freshman year, it was more primarily kicking because he didn't really it was more 50-50 between soccer and football. Last year we tried to find out a way to where he can at least go through our offensive part of practice, and I mean he was our backup quarterback last year, as well as our kicker. And then so this year, when he made the decision to stick to football full time, obviously that was something we were excited about. And just seeing him every day go through the process, I think he understands that probably better than most kids I've seen in the past, because every week it's just like you're starting over. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's and that's what we preach, this season. It's, hey, we got 10 seasons, guys. Like every week is a new season. And so just the way he approaches his preparation and how he cares for his teammates and how he puts in film study as well as studying in the classroom, it's just been so impressive to see him handle it this year, because it can be overwhelming, but he hasn't shown it if it has been.
That's awesome. Hey, we got to ask a question. What position you playing basketball? Shooting guard?
I'm a shooting guard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured. Yeah. 10 threes. And what position did you play in soccer?
I played striker.
Striker, okay. And then we got a little comment from Kendrick Burney, who is Southwest High School. He says, young man's been balling. So, and obviously, I don't know if you know who Kendrick is. He played defensive back up at Carolina when Carolina was in its heyday. Probably the last time I'm going to say last time they had really good teams. But so Kendrick is a part of the show. He's been on the show a couple times. And so, Kendrick, we appreciate your comments, man. And we appreciate that's high praise coming from Kendrick Burney. Yep. Coach, we talked about the leadership, and I said I was going to get your thoughts on leadership. What kind of leadership presence does Kannon bring to the locker room and the huddle?
So he mentioned the part about being more vocal, and I have noticed that about him this year, and a lot of that has to do with being a year older. Being a junior now, because his freshman and sophomore year, he was obviously on the varsity team, but being a freshman or sophomore amongst a lot of juniors and seniors, it's kind of tough being that more vocal guy. So I've noticed that this year about him, and obviously off the field, he's just as much of a leader, if not more by example. But, every year I have our players vote on team captains. I've had times, and I know certain coaches like to pick the captains and stuff, but he was one of our team captains voted on by his teammates, and I think that says a lot.
Absolutely.
And not just, like you said earlier, not just because he's the quarterback, but because he's got those leadership qualities and leadership traits. And I tell you what, this day and age, it's just so hard to find true leadership qualities in a young man, because everybody wants to make everybody happy. Everybody wants to please everybody and make sure they're doing everything right and don't want to offend anybody. And I think Nick Saban said it best, if you want to be happy, go sell ice cream.
That's right.
If you want to be a leader, it's going to take some courage. And this guy right beside me has that. And he's shown that on the field, when things aren't going. I think a lot of times your character shows when stuff is you're facing adversity
when things are not, and totally agree with you. That was a question that I actually skipped over from him, but it's easy to be a leader, and it's easy to be positive when you're throwing five touchdown passes, right? But when there's some adversity, or when something goes wrong, or from the perspective of the other thing, I think that, and this ties into that, the other thing I think is when there's a lot of, and there always has been a lot of me, and my man here answered the question about the game plan, and he trusts you guys, and he might not throw the ball 2 or 3 times a game, and y'all may run it 50 times a game, but he trusts y'all, and it's not all about the individual stats. It's about what's best for the team.
And that's something, with him, that's something that I've noticed, not just in football but in basketball. I mean, it's all about the team, and that's how it's got to be. And when you see that, it's pretty special. But I was, when you were talking about, facing adversity, it's easy to have leadership when you're 6-0.
Yeah.
And coming off our first loss of the season to a really good Northside team, that was kind of my thought process going into this week. Is how are our guys going to respond? And so I feel like he's had a really good week of practice so far. Coming off of a loss, we could easily just kind of, have this thing snowball, turn it into another loss. But seeing how he's responded this week's been really big. Amazing,
because that leads into just a great follow-up question that yours truly came up with. From a coaching standpoint, What are the things that Kannon does during the week that people may not see on Friday nights, but they're making a huge difference on Friday nights?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of things, come to mind right now because obviously, we get to spend a lot of time with our players in practice, in film study, you mentioned it. And, throughout the week, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like that a lot of players show us out at practice or in the classroom, in the film room that other people don't get to see. And, with the biggest thing that stands out to me about Kannon is his preparation. I mean, sitting here having this conversation about, stats and other teams, across the area. I mean, he's sitting here, he knows a lot more about it than I do. And I mean, he knows, he's so prepared. And I tell our guys all the time, when I was a player, that was one of the reasons that I got nervous before a game. Because I didn't feel like I was prepared enough. And so just seeing the preparation that goes in, and I talked to our offensive coordinator a lot over the weekend, and we meet a little bit over the weekends and stuff, but I'm talking to him, and he's telling me how much he's having conversations with Kannon about, hey, Coach, I saw this play 50, on clip 57. I should have did this. And, I mean, he's going back and doing his homework and noticing kind of that self-criticism, I guess, if you will. And you just don't get to see, other people, outsiders don't get to see that. And we get to see it firsthand from him, how much he cares about what he puts out on the field.
It's changed a lot since, obviously since I played, but we didn't know, what is it called, huddle or whatever?
Huddle, quick cut, there's a bunch of them now.
And we talked about it last week. The coaches used to meet down Highway 24, 17, 18 and exchange film, but now they do that.
VHS tapes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Where did you just off? I get on tangents. Yeah. So where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Croatan.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
so
my freshman year.
So you're a Croatan
was the
guy.
Second year the school was open.
Okay.
And I graduated in 03.
Okay, good deal.
Yep.
Last question. So when you think about Kannon's ceiling, not just as quarterback, but as a competitor and as a student, as a young man, what qualities make you believe he can succeed at the next level in football or in life and just beyond?
Well, one of the things I always try to tell our guys is I've learned life lessons from playing football that obviously were beyond being on the football field, and life lessons that I still apply today as a father, as a husband, and just seeing the quality character traits he has, and how much of a competitor he is, how much care he has for his teammates and the guys around him. That can translate, in my opinion, into anything you're doing in life.
I agree.
And so, you mentioned the ceiling for Kannon. You look at the numbers he's put on the field this year and the things he does. We talked about behind the scenes, and probably the thing that stands out, you said it, was competitor and being a competitive type guy. And I could say that about a lot of guys on our team, and that's kind of what's so fun about watching him and his teammates at practice is those guys just love to compete. And so take that into college, take that into the job atmosphere one day, just being a competitor and knowing what it takes, like, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win and be successful and see the people around me be successful. I think that can translate anywhere.
Yeah. And I just real quick, I think you can teach a lot. You can learn a lot. You can't teach somebody to be competitive.
No,
you just, that's just
really
an innate trait that either you have or you don't. My daughter, the most competitive person that I have ever met in my entire life, maybe besides me, but she gets it honest. So,
yeah.
Coach, thank you so much, man. And listen, Kannon, thank you, man.
Thank
Special guest, rapid fire. Do you have a follow-up question?
No, I just was going to ask Coach one thing. We all remember that 21 spring season where you guys had that really good season, and me personally, I think that team kind of gets a little overlooked because it was a spring season.
Yeah.
But do you see a lot of similarities from this year's team to that conference championship team from 21?
Absolutely. With that team and then this team, I think about experience that we have. When we've talked about the last couple of years and you asked me to describe our team, I've said that we were young.
Yeah.
You can't say that 3 years in a row. The guys that were young are now juniors and seniors. But, the experience we got a lot of guys on our team that's just played a lot of football. They have them. They're playing since they were young. And so that stands out to me about that. talked about being competitive. I mean, I think both of those teams, I mean, you don't know how many times in practice, I mean, we're in a week 8 right now, right? And we've got to, the best availability the best ability is availability. You want guys not getting banged up in practice. We got to dial our guys back just because they're so competitive. That reminds me a lot about that team as well. They just love to compete.
That's awesome. That's awesome. In week 8, they love hitting each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just love to hit.
We got to dial it back.
Well, this special guest and interview and rapid fire has been brought to you by Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars. It's about serving our community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events while helping families find that perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. More Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit them today. I had visit us today, but you can visit us today at our location on Western Boulevard in Jacksonville or online at morebuickgmc.com. So thank you for that awesome interview. We're going to roll into week 8 now. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, everybody's favorite time, their predictions.
All right, here we go. Croatan 6-1, 2-1 in conference at Richlands, 1-5, 0-2. I'm going to just ask you a question, and then we'll go over the predictions. Will Andrew Boucher continue his dual threat dominance against a struggling Richlands defense?
Well, I think so. I think if you guys play well, I think you'll have a chance to take care of business. You said you guys have had a good week of practice, and Richlands is no pushover. Those kids are going to continue to fight and play hard. They're struggling a little bit offensively, but I think if you guys take care of business and play like you're supposed to, I think you guys should be able to be successful.
Yeah. All right. New Bern 3-3 and 0-1 in conference goes to White Oak, which is 4-2. And 0-1 in conference. Can Josh Smith deliver another superhuman performance to help lead White Oak in a competitive game, to create a competitive game?
He has the ability to, but if you're White Oak, you don't want to rely on him so much to try to get you back in the game. You'd prefer to have some early success. And like I said earlier, White Oak has had the tendency of falling behind in the first half to some of these competitive teams. So if you're White Oak, yeah, you want Josh to have a good game, but you want some of the other guys, the Pineda brothers and Montez Jimenez to have success early on, take some of that pressure off Josh, and see if you can have that, have a lead at halftime and carry it on after that. So if you're White Oak, you just can't afford to fall behind early.
Okay. Trask 3-3, 1-0 in conference at East Duplin, 4-2 and 1-0 in conference. Can East Duplin maintain its fast start formula and insert control early?
Yeah, I don't. Not trying to be nasty here, but I think East Duplin's gonna, it's gonna be a pretty quick game.
You think
it's gonna be done by halftime if they, if they take care of business, and I think they will. They're a well coached ball team, and East Duplin, I think, will be like last week, game over by halftime.
All right, and we're still trying to get Battle to commit to come down here. We told him we would usher him down here, we'd feed him, take him somewhere. So, but I definitely want to get Battle down here. He's a hoot if we can get him down here. Northside 5-1, 2-0 in conference at West Carteret, 4-2 and 2-1 in conference. Can West Carteret hang around long enough to make it interesting?
I mean, they're gonna play hard. And Coach, you guys haven't played West Carteret yet. No. I mean, they're gonna play hard. But I just think Northside is gonna be too strong for West Carteret, and I just think going forward, Croatan was the best team that Northside has faced.
Yeah.
So I think if Northside continues to do well and establish their running game, I think they're gonna find success.
Okay. Dixon 5-1 and 1-1 in conference at Havelock, who is 2-5. Never think that's kind of like that Newbern thing. I never thought I'd say Havelock 2-5, but they are 2-1 in conference. will J.J. Gallott's historic season continue against the Rams team that shut them out last year? So they actually, I did not
That's
realize.
interesting. You coach, y'all haven't played Northside. Dixon yet, but y'all played Havelock, and I think they are better than the record indicates. But
Yes.
that's an interesting matchup. Dixon. Havelock seems to have kind of maybe found its way a little bit. That was a nice effort by them last week against West Carteret. So what kind of Havelock team will show up? They will start a freshman at quarterback, so that's going to be interesting. But if Dixon wins, I wouldn't be surprised if I would not be surprised if Dixon wins.
Okay. Pender 6-0, 1-0 in conference at Southwest, 0-5 and 0-1. Can Southwest find a way to slow Pender's four-headed rushing attack?
Yeah, Pender has 4 guys that has at least 400 yards rushing, something like that.
Wow.
So
So they wouldn't be listed probably on the passing stat. Their quarterback's probably okay, or the receiving stats.
Yeah,
okay.
4 guys rushing for. And it's not just 4 guys at 400. It's like one guy's at 425, and the other guys are like at 500, 600. Okay. So so they're running the ball pretty well. Southwest is at home. I think time's kind of running out if they get some of these wins, but I don't see this being a 56-0 game. But Southwest is going to be competitive early, but they need to stay in that game as early as much as they can.
Okay.
If they're going to pull off an upset.
I think that goes to one of my rapid fire questions coming up. East Carteret 2-4, 1-0 in conference at Lejeune, 0-6, 0-1. Look, man, the Devil Cup pups are just inspired, right? They're just happy to be playing. Is it going to give them a shot against the Mariners?
They're going to be excited to play. They didn't practice Monday, but they did practice Tuesday. Tuesday they'll practice today and they'll practice Thursday, which will give them those 3 days that they need. Volleyball team won with just one practice yesterday, and they won. So they're excited. Unfortunately, I think East Carter is going to be a little bit too much on this one. Yeah.
Liberty Christian 4-2 at Father Capadona, if that's how we say it. Who is 4-3. Which Heat player, DePola, Smith, or Malphus, makes the biggest splash this week?
Well, I'm going to give Scott Smith
you're going to give him a little hands up
plug. I think
and tell him the Smiths.
The Smith brothers, even though we're going to have them next week on the show, they're going to have some good games, both of them, offensively and defensively.
All right, let's pop over and we're going to look at your Week 8 predictions. So we got Jacksonville. And I just messed up, but that's okay because Jacksonville is the game of the week. So let's go real quick, and let's go to the game of the week. Sorry about that. So we got Jacksonville, the game of the week, and that game of the week is brought to you by Golden Corral and Billy Sewell, his folks. And Billy, thank you for the lunch earlier today. Your game of the week is J.H. Rose 3-3 and 1-0 in conference at Jacksonville. It's 5-0 and 1-0 in conference. Just a couple of items of interest. Cardinals looking to keep it rolling. They haven't gone undefeated in conference play since 1990. J.H. Rose, 3 losses have come to teams with a combined record of 14-5. Rose's success comes via the air, so the Cardinals must establish a lead early and force some turnovers. And then Jacksonville is not likely to end up with 600 yards on the ground, but big plays are possible. Those are things that taken out of your article. So talk real quick about this game and your thoughts about how that leads. And let me ask you a couple questions real quick. Can Jacksonville avoid a post-New Bern letdown going into this key conference matchup? Last year they beat New Bern, or last 2 years last 2 times they had this kind of schedule. They beat New Bern and then followed it up with a loss to Rose, right?
Well, they beat New Bern last year, and then they had to turn around and play at West Carter like on a Tuesday because of all that rain that we had. And so you only have, Coach, you know this. You only basically have 1 day of practice to prepare for a team. Yeah. That was tough. So that was kind of a grinded out, 11-point win. But I do remember a couple years ago they did beat New Bern on a 2-point conversion. Pretty much had the buzzer, and then came back and lost the Rose. Kind of didn't show up that week. Yeah. So I'll be interested to see how Jacksonville shows up Friday night at home. Rose was a conference favorite by the coaches.
Yeah. How will the Cardinals defense handle Rose's deep passing attack?
I'm going to be very interested to see how Jacksonville's defense responds. They have given up points. Now there's different reasons for that. Different kids are getting some playing time, and again, you look at the final score, and so they gave up 30-some points, but 2 of those touchdowns might have come in the fourth quarter when the game's already decided. But they're gonna last week against New Bern, they took an early lead, followed that up with a pick, and all of a sudden you're up 14-0. They need to kind of duplicate that success, that recipe for success this week if they're going to win.
All right. So let's look at your prediction. It's Jacksonville 34, J.H. Rose 27. So
yeah, I get tired of all the Jacksonville people getting mad at me.
all right. So we got that. And again, Billy, thank you so much, Billy Sewell, and the folks from Golden Corral. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Dig into the Golden Corral famous buffet with mouth-watering wings and boneless wings in a variety of flavors. Save room for over 20 bakery and dessert selections, from chocolate and carrot cake to apple pie and their legendary banana pudding. And he makes some pretty good cookies, too. Your daughter, who's sitting over there off camera, she enjoys the cookies.
And she wants to be on the air.
She wants to be on. Okay. Start your morning with breakfast at 7:30, brunch at 10, and dining and dinner featuring carved meats at 4. And seniors, which I say every time, I'm a senior now, you can enjoy the early bird buffet with a beverage at 1 p.m. Need to feed a crowd. They cater events from 10 to 1,000. Dine in, take out, drive through, or delivery. It's all at Golden Corral. They do Jacksonville's #1 buffet 10 years running in the Daily News Best of the Best. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com today. So, Billy, again, thank you guys for all you do for athletics and for Onslow County sports as well as community sports in the area. So now we're going to pop over. We talked about the Jacksonville 34, Rose 27. All right, Coach, so you don't have to throw him out to the bathwater. He's got you guys winning 35-7 this week. You got New Bern edging out White Oak in a high-scoring game, 42-35. East Duplin 49, Trask 12. Northside laying it on West Carteret 42-14. Havelock and Dixon in a high-scoring game that Havelock's going to come out. Pender running Southwest 0-6. East Carteret 35-6 over Lejeune. And listen, I'm just happy for the kids at Lejeune. Happy that they actually you got them getting on the board this week. You've actually had them scoring every week. They haven't scored every week, but that's okay. And then Liberty 40 and Father Cappadona 6. So anything particularly that we're looking at that you want to?
No, I think it's going to be kind of a all chalk. I don't see many surprises going on Friday night, but yeah, Coach, I did pick y'all to win. So
Finally, it's about time.
I will say this though, like I said before, people have fun with this, and it's all in fun. Yeah. But I mean, there are people that fans that will get irate.
There's actually one coach in particular that when Chris picks against him, he puts it on his bullet. He creates bulletin board material.
And like I said before, it is so funny because you have a coach. Well, Chris, why are you always picking us to lose? So the one time I picked him to win, Chris, why'd you pick us to win?
Yeah, you can't do it, right? All right, rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah.
Which unbeaten team, Jacksonville, Pender, or Northside, faces a potential biggest trap game this week?
Oh, Northside's not undefeated.
Oh, I'm sorry. They are not undefeated. Jacksonville, Pender. Who faces the biggest trap game this week? Between Jacksonville and Pender.
Well, I would say Pender because they're playing a winless team. So, I mean, J.H. Rose is a good team. So, I think Pender, if they don't play well, Southwest could find some success.
All right. Most unstoppable player right now, Amari Pearson, J.J. Gallot, or Josh Smith? I know there's others. Andrew obviously is a great – but listen, man, you're very modest because I would put you – anytime you say, unstoppable, I would put you in there, man. You sling the rock. So anyway, but of those three, we can't list everybody. Of those three, Pearson, Gallot, or Smith, who would you least like to tackle?
Oh, who would I least like to tackle?
Yeah.
Probably JJ.
Okay. Which team's offense would you least want to face in October?
Oh, believe it or not, if you guys were still running the ball, like constantly, I would pick because you guys mastered that. But I would say East Duplin.
Yeah,
East Duplin, and you talk about those games with East Duplin. I mean, those were some fast games because nobody threw the ball.
That is a team I do not miss having on our schedule this year. Them and White Oak. Yeah.
What's the more impressive streak? Liberty Christian's 4 straight wins or Jacksonville's 5-game surge? And I will go on record to say that since Coach has been on the show, Sean has been on the show.
Yeah, they're 4-0.
They're 4-0. They have not lost. Liberty has not lost since they've been on the show.
So we don't reverse jinx it next week.
No, we won't. Yeah, let's hope not. Yeah. So anyway, what's more impressive?
I'll give the Heat. Well, you know what? I'll give the Heat credit. They've they won 4 straight. They thought that they had a chance to be really good this year.
Third year playing 8-man football, right?
Third year playing. They thought they had a chance to be pretty strong. But I'll give the Cards the slight edge just because. I mean, winning at New Bern and doing it 67 points. I mean, that's not an easy feat.
Okay. Which team makes the most significant statement this week? We didn't have a team make a significant statement last week. Didn't seem like. But looking at this, man, it seems like you're predicting Croatan's defense is potentially going to step up this week against Richlands.
Well, I think Richlands and Coach, I say this to watch them have a lot of success against you guys, but offensively, the Wildcats have struggled offensively throughout the season. Their defense is still going to get after it and play hard. But I just think if you guys take care of business and do what you're supposed to, I think y'all, get a good week of practice. I think Croatan will have a chance to win pretty well and play well.
Most likely to pull off an upset this week. White Oak, Trask, or Southwest?
White Oak, Trask, or Trask? No. White Oak may have a chance, but I mean, would you classify Dixon beating Havelock as an upset?
Yeah, I would.
So I would say Dixon.
Okay, that's cool.
Just because of that single wing offense.
All right, we up the numbers this week because last week. Does any player rush for more than 300 yards this week?
Ooh, look at the schedule. No, because I think everybody's going to just be more well balanced. And of course, I said that last week, and we had 3 guys.
Yeah. Does any QB throw for more than 250 yards this week? Especially if the coach lets them play the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Northside, Croatan, and Ken. How are those conversations like? If when coach takes you out at halftime,
I'm telling him to leave me in because we practice all week. And
there is no conversation.
Yeah.
There is no conversation.
They don't listen to me, but I know. Yeah.
Okay. I'm having somebody text me. I don't know if it's about the show or not, but I just texted him back. Does any QB run and throw for at least one TD this week?
I know it's up to this young man. Now watch him. Well, you can't do it. You can't do it in high school because it'll be down. But I can see Kannon had that touchdown that Trevor Lawrence had the other day.
Okay.
that was a crazy play, wasn't it?
That's crazy.
I've got a question. So actually, he didn't put it on the thing, but I've been asked by Coach Bird to ask Gurley about a drop TD versus Salisbury in college.
Oh, man. Of course they bring that up. All right, can we go back to that question you asked about us before? Yeah. It got knocked out of my hands, okay? It wasn't a drop.
All right. Here we go. Does any player account for 5 or more TDs this week?
Oh, that is going to be a tough one. Bird, if you are listening, I'm sure you prefer Josh not have 5 touchdowns, so that means the other guys are getting touchdowns. To be honest, I don't see a guy scoring 5.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it's going to be kind of spread out across the board.
Okay. What's the most underrated job on a football Friday night? Chain crew, PA announcer, or band drummer?
Oh, the band. That is a tough one. I don't know. I would say the chain gang just because I see them.
Okay. If you got every area mascot in the cage fight ring, what mascot is walking out the champ?
Oh.
Cougars.
What?
There's some good ones now. The Cardinals going to take a whooping. I'm just going to tell you. The Cardinals is going to take a whooping. I hate to tell you that, Bo. The Stallions, I mean, they're going to be fleet of foot. The Vikings, they're going to be toting that sword. But you got the Cougars, you got the Panthers.
It depends on what kind of Northside Monarchs are we talking about.
We're talking about the lion, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, the lion.
We're not talking about the butterflies.
We're not talking about the monarch butterfly, no. Who's going to come out and reign as the mascot champion?
Well, part of me says Liberty Heat.
Heat.
Because they can burn everybody.
Good point. Good point.
But you got to go with the Lejeune Devil Pups.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Because if you mess with them, you got to mess with their military parents.
Okay. That's going to do it. Anything else for the masses?
No, just one quick funny story before we go. Coach, you remember that Picks in preview we had a few years ago with you, Bird, and Dempsey.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of copied Thin Lizzy. The boys are back in town, and had them in their Letterman jacket. So that was pretty fun. I think I still have that somewhere, but.
That's awesome. Listen, I had and he was calling me, and I actually could have put him on the air, but y'all wouldn't have heard him because I didn't have the speakers hooked up. But John Childress says, please tell Chris we're not mad. It really motivates our guys to be underdogs. We had such a motivating speech from Blake Moses last Friday after being on y'all's show. Then he said he loves the show and keep on doing what we're doing. So, I think it's cool if we motivate people and make them a little upset. Maybe that'll make them play mad as long as they keep watching. If they get mad because something you say or I say, that means they're watching, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but we don't want to do that. But that's going to do it. Down East Prep Report with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal. A big thanks to special guest Kannon McBride.
Sir.
Buddy, I appreciate you. I've been giving you that, but I'm going to shake your hand, man. Andrew, Coach, thank you guys for coming and seeing us. Great conversation, and of course, big thank you to Chris Miller for breaking down the matchups for this coming week, and we'll see how they do. Yeah. So, if you guys are enjoying watching the show, again, you can watch it on Facebook at the Man Cave Media page, or you can go out to our YouTube channel, Man Cave Media NC. And check it out there. You can subscribe, and you'll be notified when we do this show, as well as a couple of other shows that we've got going on. So we'd appreciate you guys going out there and watching. And again, thank you to our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member, you're part of the community. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. Same time, same location next week, and we'll have a full recap of this week's actions, and we'll have a player of the week brought to you by Down East Heating, and we'll have a preview of all the matchups, including our Golden Corral Game of the Week. So with that said, for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thank you guys for listening, and everybody go out and support local high school football.